Hi, everyone. So, welcome to the Futbol Takeover, where we're going to be talking about the intersection of business, community, culture, and football. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It's going to be a little bit of a different format than the last one. So, prepare yourselves. So since we did the first show last week, it's been, first of all, thank you so much for the response. It's been really interesting and fun to get messages and just inquiries about the show and the why and hey, what else is coming up and all of those fun questions. So let me tell you the why. I think, like I've always said, football, there is an entire culture behind it that fuels it. It's really all about the supporters and the people that are in it. And I think one of the really beautiful things that we're experiencing right now is the fact that the rest of the world and our neighbors, our communities, are also learning about a lot of like those little nuances and those little special things, right, that make up the culture. And there's also a lot of people that maybe haven't really grown up with soccer who are now part of it, who have now had a chance to also really be a part of it because of the big game that is happening this summer and the summer of soccer. So I thought this is the perfect time to like I continue to say, have conversation with friends, talk about the sport, and explore a little bit more about, how we're all connected through the sport, something that I think a lot of us love and that a lot of you are also starting to love. So that's the reason behind it. And I wanted to share that with you. So thank you for tuning in, and please continue to tune in. Now, I really want to take a moment because last week, there's so many things have happened, I think, in the span of a week. But when we were doing the show, it was one of those days that I think a lot of us didn't know how the day could end. And there was a really big world event that impacted so many of our neighbors, especially the Venezuelan community, that I just really wanted to take a moment to recognize that, to also really extend, like el cariño, el amor, and, prayers to the Venezuelan community, because I know that the earthquakes that happen in Caracas and La Guaira have truly, truly affected not only the Venezolanos in Venezuela, but across the world. And here in Houston, we have such a high population of Venezuelans, and it is beautiful to see all of how everybody is coming together to really, support and make sure that there's aid given to everybody that was affected by the earthquake. So I have received, different calls, text messages asking like, hey, do you know what we can do, where we can go? And so I want to share some of the information that I've been able to compile, because there are, first of all, really amazing, strong, organizations here in Houston that are already doing the work, and I think it's important to support them. And there's already an entire network of people that are opening their businesses, that are opening their wallets, their everything, all the resources that they have to ensure that aid can be sent over to Venezuela. So we have compiled a couple of slides, just showing what you can, first of all, donate and where to donate. So if you look on the screen, you'll be able to see them. There's quite a few. So first of all, these are the different products that you can donate. I know that the last time I saw some news, they were talking about, medical supplies being a very, very important one. So I would definitely say, put a special emphasis on that. And then here are some of the locations, and there's quite a few locations around town that you can go to. So you'll see on the next slide that there are locations everywhere from La Mora in Katy to Paquemauro and Dickinson, Metabox in Spring, Texas. On the next slide, you'll also see that there's Acción Social Venezuela. They're off of West Houston Center. Also in the Galleria, there's a couple of spots. And then in the next slide, there are even more. I mean, we're talking about Katy, Houston, Kingwood, for those of you that are in Kingwood. Let's see, in the next slide as well, we have a lot more in Katy. Also, if you're in Tomball, there's Blisslicious Shakes and Teas. And then on the last one, we also have, again, a lot in Tomball, Houston, and Katy. And so please, make sure that you screenshot all of this, and then that way you know exactly where to go and where you can drop off supplies, and how you can help. But I just thought it was very important, because I know that through some of the news, we've also learned that some of our members in the football community have also been greatly affected, and again, just really want to send love and prayers, because it's very impactful for everybody, and yeah. So thank you very much. Please make sure that you can go and support for all of the community, all of our Venezuelan brothers and sisters. Well, and now let's talk a little bit about what's been happening around town. There have been a lot of really cool events, and I just want to give a quick shout out. And what I'll do is I'll also post some video that I took over the weekend in my stories. But major shout out to Toros HTX. They just hosted the Toyota Football Club event over the weekend, and it was really, really fun. So make sure that you go check them out. They are here in the Arts District. They are showing all of the games, and they have a really fun space, and they also host a lot of fun events. So highly recommend you go out to it. And then also major shout out to the Precinct 2 United team. That would be Elva, Blanca, and the rest of the crew. They put on a penalty shootout in James Driver Park. That was really fun to go watch. I did not try to hit a penalty because, I have not. I haven't practiced. But there were a lot of people, all ages, and it was really fun to see that. And I want to give a shout out, because I think one of the cool things is, when you think about football, soccer, you're always thinking, it's the game. It's, I don't know, like you have to go and play, for 90 minutes. No, there's a lot of aspects to it. There's a lot of other fun events that are constantly happening here in the city that are related to the sport. And so those were two really fun events that happened over the weekend. But so let's see. I'm going to check on here to see who is on here. Thank you guys so much again for being here. And now we're going to go into our main segment. This has been, I'm very excited about today, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, I love music. I love my salsa. I really love salsa. I think people do not understand that. And so a couple years ago, I met this person, and I was just like, oh man, she's cool. She's awesome. And then, it was really interesting to just kind of see like the evolution of our guest, from what I would say, a very corporate setting and very corporate, to now really showcasing, being in a space and showcasing like, her light, how fun she is, which has always been there, but I think it's different when your profession like truly allows you to do it. And so I'm very excited that today I get to have as a guest Karina Lopez, also known as DJ Caribeats.
Thank you so much, Maria. I love the intro. Thank you so much. Really happy to be here.
No, thank you. This was fun. This was really fun. Like I've been looking forward to it because we've shared a lot of different moments and stuff, and now I'm like, I get to have a conversation with you. In public,
Yeah.
with a lot of people.
In public with a lot of people. And I don't think Maria told the full story of all the lives we've lived together. We've had everything from nonprofit to multiple businesses, and this has been a constant. So I'm just really happy to be here talking to you today.
Thank you. Me too. Me too. All right. So I will give you the microphone so you can kind of start us off. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It feels like an interview. Once again, thank you so much for coming out. My name is DJ Carrie Beats. My real name is Karina Lopez. I like to say I'm an engineer by background, but I love music as well. So I'm a full-time DJ and educator. I teach kids how to DJ as well, which have my little story in the background too. But basically, born and raised in Puerto Rico, Dominican parents, came here for oil and gas, a major company, and I'm still here. I'm still here, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity that Houston has given me to showcase my creative skills that, like Maria said, they were always there. But I was an engineer first. So I think that shaped a lot of who I am today.
Yeah, because I mean that was the first Karina that I met, the engineer, very safety conscious, which I love. If there is one thing about engineers and anybody that works in oil and gas, it's always safety. Everything. I'm like, okay, cool, I got you. And then we have definitely been through multiple iterations and ventures and stuff. But for me, I think the moment was when you were like, yeah, I'm gonna be a DJ. Like, I absolutely loved the transition, but at the same time, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, so DJing is one of those things so my message is really clear. I wish I would have started earlier. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that I've always wanted to do, but didn't have the opportunity or the representation, right? Immigrant parents, you have to have a career first. So I do remember my mom saying, Kari, you have to finish a career first, and then you can go into your creative life. And the day that we're skipping a couple stages, but the day I went to engineering school, I think we have a picture for that, mm-hmm. Graduated and came to Houston, started working in oil and gas, very safety minded. And that wasn't enough. So I still took on my professional engineering license. And I took that test. It was 2 tests, fundamentals and professional engineer. And once I passed that test, I literally messaged my mom and I said, Mom, I'm good. Here it is. I became an engineer, got my engineering license. Can I be a DJ now? And that's such an interesting way of framing this story, because I didn't really need the permission to do it, mm-hmm. but it was a nice thing to have. And I would say that it really shaped who I am today. Mm-hmm. Not only the safety aspect, I'm probably the safest DJ, more corporate DJ you could ever know, but in general, how I see the world and how I treat my business. Mm-hmm. So everything shaped the next stage.
Yeah. No, and I did. And I mean, and I do say...
That's a cute picture, sorry. That's a cute picture.
No, and I remember, I think you had gone on one of your trips and you came back or I don't know, somehow I remember a similar picture to that with your hard hat and all of that. I don't know if it was in Bolivia or something.
Yeah, so this is a very, not generic, but stereotypical picture of an engineer. Right. And I would change jobs every 2 years. So I moved up really quick. This is one of my first field jobs. So I did this for a year, 20 days on, 28 days off. Coming back to Houston, not really. I traveled the whole world. I was just traveling by myself. Love Morocco, by the way. Then I went out I came back to Houston, and that's when I started all the different businesses. But I continue, right? Like this picture is from 2018, and then I moved into solar projects, wind projects, everything, fuel cells, all the renewable power as well. So that was just the start of that period. And one thing it taught me, it's that I wanted more. I wanted more. So it was always there.
Yeah, no. And I mean, if there's one thing about Karina, is that, you know, she says it, she does it. And it's been really exciting to see that whole journey, because, you know, from engineer to, you're a very creative person. I mean, because like you said, before you became a DJ, there were some other businesses in between that, you know, I would say collabed in a way. But you're a very creative person. And I love that you like highlight that, you show that, and that you made sure that you were always true to yourself. Like, yes, I can have my career and, you know, do what I need to do, right, from a family aspect, or however you want to say that. But then you are also a very creative person, and you always found your outlet. You always, you know, did your thing, and I think that is very admirable, because a lot of times, like, you know, sometimes we kind of say like, no, I'm either gonna wait until, who knows, I retire, or you just kind of suppress it and you're like,
Yeah, I would encourage everyone to start early. Whatever it is, I would encourage people to start early, because a lot of people don't know, but this is not my first business. And Mari has been a witness of this. This is actually my third business. I started in e-commerce, but you don't know that. But if you see my website and it works, that means my experience brought me to that point. Then I went into retail, face-to-face at the Galleria. I was in sales, direct sales to consumers, so I have that experience. Yeah. And then I went into DJ. So a lot of people don't know this, but they think, oh, she just started DJing, and think it's a linear path, when in reality, every experience shaped who I am today. And that's why if there's one thing for you to take away from this conversation, is that you need to start early, because I wouldn't have realized that I loved to DJ if I hadn't done the other two businesses that I looked at myself and say, actually Gustavo also helped me. I looked at my business and say, why am I in the Galleria doing this direct sales when I really just want to DJ? But you kind of have to go through that process of trying different things until you land the thing that resonates with you.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So you were there in the Galleria. You said, I want to DJ. What was the first step, or, you know, exactly, like, what was the next thing that you did in order to land that? Well, to even land your first gig.
Right. So it was a hot summer night. I was driving back from Austin, and I had a call. It was Ilset, DJ Ilset. You know, I will always give you a shout out. And she said, Kari, I'm gonna be in town, and I need a DJ to open up for me. And I said, yes. Did I know how to DJ? Absolutely not. Did I know how to do vinyl? No. But I said yes, and then I figured it out. And that was a pivotal moment, because that night I drove back from Austin, woke up really early, and showed up the next day. And the next day it was just to watch, but I showed up and I said yes. I didn't really know yet. You know, my primary experience was on Twitch. So I used to DJ by myself with an audience that I know who was watching before. But up to that point, it was just streaming. But I said yes, and I showed up. And it really was as simple as that. And I would always be thankful for the opportunity to start in such a cool environment, right? Like, that's major.
It's fun.
I'd say I never really had bad gigs. I started in a really nice spot.
Oh, wow. But the fact that you said yes without fully knowing it, I love that. Because a lot of times, especially women, and, you know, I have to say this because I'm also one of them, we say no because we don't know it. instead of just saying yes and then saying, you know what, I'll figure it out. That's a very different mindset. And I think it's important to highlight, because we need to start being like that. Because a lot of people are like that.
A lot of people are like that. And one thing for the audience to remember, because I would expect we have a lot of diverse audience, you don't need to know exactly how it's going to work out, but you have to start. And this is something, it's a takeaway from being in such a male-dominated environment. You know, Maria, I used to be in front of 300 construction workers on the mic, being really nervous. But once I started DJing, that changed how I felt about that. So this was like the easiest thing to do after you've been through such male-dominated environments. You already say, okay, might as well do it, because guess what? If you're not doing it, somebody else is going to do it with less experience.
Yes.
God is going to give that opportunity to someone else.
No, it's true.
Yeah, that's it. Boom.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And I mean, and I love seeing more women in the DJ booth.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that, because the vibe is different. You know, the vibe is completely different.
we know how to get the girls dancing, and let me tell you, once you get the girls dancing, you have a party, a successful party.
Yep.
And nobody can replicate that. A girl knows how to get the dance floor going.
Yeah, for real. So, what has been, you know, like a memorable gig for you?
Ooh, I've had a lot of memorable gigs. One thing about my DJ career is that I started, you know, normal doing clubs. In 2021, I realized there was a gap in events and DJs that would provide that more like corporate service to companies as DJ service. So I started my own company. And I've had a lot of memorable events, but the one that I can think of is a very recent one. I don't know if we want to talk about it. I think the prepping for the events sometimes is even more memorable than the actual event. And recently, I experienced that. I remember listening to a song, and I remember, there's so many things I want to say. There's so many things I want to say, y'all. I remember listening to a song and thinking, wow, I can't believe I'm going to this major event playing Caribbean music. And I started crying. I thought, wow, I've came a long way from being a side gig to a full-time DJ. It's exactly a year. Today. Wow. That I became a full-time DJ, and just having that opportunity to be in this completely different and big stages, doing what I love, I literally cried.
Yeah.
And I want that for other girls. I want that for other people too. They deserve that too.
Yes, we need to see more of our women out there, you know, like getting things going. Before we get to that one, I just wanna say, I remember when we prepped for during COVID times, and you know, all of the all of the virtual events and all of the different things that were happening. We were also doing a virtual production, and you were the DJ, and I just remember all of that prep.
Which one was done?
Yes. The very late night. Yeah. I'm like, y'all, you guys have no idea. When she talks about having to prep, making sure that, you know, it's everything, right? It's everything from the music, the vibe, you know, who's going to be there. I mean, how you're going to dress. I mean, like everything, right? Every single detail. And then, so I had never really witnessed that until we did that production, because it was a virtual production. And so I was the person behind on the production side. And so, you know, we had to set up the entire scene and the whole scenario and stuff. But I have so much props for you. I mean, because it was a lot. It was a lot, but it also showed, like you said, all of the preparation leading up to that, right? From your engineering days and just knowing that, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these things need to get checked off. All of these things need to be ready. And so I remember that because from that moment to what we're about to talk about, it has been such an amazing road, and I've been able to see it. Like, I've been on the front row, so I'm just very excited and happy for you.
I'm excited too, Mari. And you also made me realize something, that very unpopular opinion, but talent is not all that you need to succeed in this. Because I've seen amazing DJs, but their careers have been more like on the backside. And I've seen DJs blow up, but they're very consistent. I feel like, I know that consistency beats talent any day. And let me tell you more. That's where I've also used my experience as a DJ to create management systems. You said prep and all the background work, but that's just the experience that I bring.
Yeah.
And that is something that I wish more DJs knew. Anybody starting a business, it's not just talent. You need to know how to set up your contracts, negotiate your contracts, have the right terms. You need to show up on time, have more of like the corporate business side of it that will make you successful. So I've had it since the first day because I had a leg up from my background, and it's something that I'm glad you got to witness. I didn't even know what I was doing it, but it's part of who I am.
Yeah. And so for me, it was really exciting when, there I am looking online, seeing what's going on. And then I come across this screenshot. This screenshot that I think is very important to share so that we can go and talk about, the gig that you did, the World Cup gig that you did. But yes, Gary, you were DJing in 2 of the biggest games, or 2 of the 11 U.S. cities for World Cup. Like, congratulations! That is amazing.
Thank you.
That is amazing. How did that come to be? Like, I love this.
That's such a cute picture.
I absolutely love this because, I know you, and I might know a little bit more than what is seen here on the screen, but this is amazing. This is amazing, from the Gadi engineer to the businesswoman to then the late nights that we had, prepping for virtual or just for different events. And then now you're on the biggest stage. Yeah.
I was really excited to be part of it, and just grateful. Like I said, it's been a long road from 3 different businesses, shifting into DJing, making it successful, making it a profitable business for a full-time career, and being able to share this gift with the world. And like I said, this is when I started crying when I was prepping, because I realized I can't believe I'm gonna be in the biggest sporting events of the summer, playing Caribbean music.
And of the world.
Playing Caribbean music. I remember being like I said, I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico. I remember that it was summer. I always have these stories, huh? I remember that it was summer, and I was watching the World Cup, and I was making crafts with my hands. I've always made something. I was making, we couldn't really afford to buy the real ones, so I created my own designs of like flowers with glitter. So I was just putting glitter on things, and it's just like a vivid image of me creating a flower with glitter and watching the World Cup. And when I realized I had a residency to be the World Cup DJ for all of these events, various cities, it was just exciting. Everything just clicked, and I just couldn't contain my emotions. So I'm just thankful and excited.
So that photo that we saw, that was in Kansas City.
That was Kansas City, yeah.
And how was that? How was that crowd? How was how was that experience? I mean, now you've done a lot of gigs here in Houston, and now you got to go and travel and do it in another city that was a big game as well. So
that was a big game, and it was fun. What I would say, what I can share, it was fun. It's like I said, I think the biggest part of all these major events is before the prep work. By the time I got to the event, it almost felt like a wedding. And I DJ a lot of weddings, by the way. So I was just excited to see it unfold throughout the day. And the excitement, nobody can prepare you to see this huge masses of people going up the stadium, doing things at the same time, dancing to their songs. Nobody can prepare you for that moment. That was just like very, very, very exciting. And that's all I can say.
So you were in Kansas City, and then you also DJ'd here in Houston. And that must have been fun. Like hometown, like just being there in the stadium and getting everybody pumped about, preparing for the match.
Biggest realization. Sorry I interrupted you. It just clicked. We're all so similar. Let me tell you, the music is so similar. It may be in a different language, but one thing about this is that it unites us all. It was so much fun to play music that I didn't know what they were saying. Of course, I looked it up before, but not specifically like my own language. And just seeing people having fun. At the end of the day, it's about connecting and having fun with other people. It doesn't matter where they're from. The best feeling in the world to be part of that and bringing people together through music.
Yeah. No, I love that. And another thing that I really want to recognize about you is you do your homework. You do your homework because I mean you knew the audiences that were going to be there, the teams, and I got to witness a little bit of that research and stuff, and I absolutely love that. You do your homework. You made sure that you were bringing the vibe, that you were respecting and honoring it.
Yeah. And
I think that is so important because at the end of the day, it's culture, and so like you. Again, it's that respect and honor of it that is so important. So very cool.
Yeah, that's something that applies to every type of event. If there's something I would tell to young DJs is that song selection beats skills any day. So if you do your research and have a solid background, people are going to appreciate that more than you trying to do all this scratching in a live setting. So a lot of this corporate events is more about song selection than anything.
Yeah. Wow. So for this World Cup, who are you cheering for? Who do you want? Do you have a favorite team?
For this World Cup, I am cheering for Curaçao.
All right.
Who's gonna tell her?
I know, right? Hey, no. They had a great run.
Listen, somebody had to bring the vibes, and I feel like without Curaçao, a lot of us would have not enjoyed the group stage. It was just like a fun. Yeah. It was just like a fun vibe, and I can't answer this question because I'm in Houston and there's a big diversity of population, so I don't want to get in trouble with any potential partners. So I'm gonna say Curaçao and support. My islands.
Well, Cari Beats, supporting the Caribbean.
Of course, and it's so similar.
All right, another question. Out of all of the World Cup soundtrack songs, like of all times, right? And I always have to say, like since Ricky Martin days and Cup of Life, do you have a favorite one?
have two favorite ones. I mean, of course, I had to say Waka Waka. I feel like that was pivotal for everyone. And before we got into this show, I was telling Mari how I was in college and I used to sign my emails with Waka Waka Karina instead of regards. So yeah, it changed my life. Waka Waka was a pivotal moment in everybody's life. Mm-hmm. Of course, Ricky Martin, nobody can top La Copa de la Vida.
That's my man.
So we're looking for the next artist for the World Cup. You have 4 years. Get ready. We're waiting for you.
Exactly. Hey, we're gonna go to Morocco then, because that's where it's gonna be.
Oh, so fun.
Morocco,
so fun.
Spain. Right? I think Morocco, Spain. So yeah, no, it's going to be really fun. And I just want to do, before we kind of end this, I know you talked a lot about, just the next generation of DJs and all of that. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in order to ensure that the next generation of DJs has a solid educational foundation for coming into the industry.
Right. I started Meant to Beats DJ school because that's something that I didn't have when I started DJing. Mm-hmm. I had the opportunity to DJ for other people, and that's how I learned. But there are ways to do it. It's a little bit more structured. So of course I took my engineering background and created this amazing curriculum that teaches you everything from like 0 to hero basically, so that you can start performing. And it's not about, I have the equipment or am I ready? No, it's if you want to learn, you can do it and I can teach you. And the reason is, like I said before, I want people to start early. I want the next generation to start early. They're already spending time on their laptops, on their phones, might as well be mixing music and learning a technical skill. And I have a really, really cool story. This is why I do it. But I remember this student that before he came into my class, he wouldn't look at me in the face, in my eyes. He wouldn't look at me. He would just always like kind of wander around, do something with his phone. And we did a 6-week course, after school classes. And by the end, he was saying, Miss Karina, I have some songs. I've been practicing. Let me show you. And I thought, that's amazing. And he was looking at me in the eye. That transformation, it's what I am providing. That's why I'm so excited to continue in this program and given the opportunity, showing that all you need to do is start early. And here I am to help you. Because guess what? I'm not getting any younger. So we have to prepare the next generation and might as well do it now. There's no better time than now.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. And Kari, I mean, you've been doing so much for this for your school. She recently won a pitch competition, and I was there, so I was really happy to cheer her on. And yes, I mean, there's definitely, I think. This is why we always say the arts are so important. The arts are so important because they really do give everyone not only an outlet, but also help you build up confidence. And so, no, thank you so much. That is great. And we'll definitely share information about the upcoming events and camps that you have. So then that way, anybody that's interested can sign up.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Kari, thank you so much for being here today. I mean, it was really fun having this conversation, sharing some of your information with everybody and learning a little bit more. Well, letting them learn a little bit more, because I feel like I've been able to have a front row seat to some of this, to your journey, and I was just really excited that you were on the show today.
Thank you. And I'm excited to continue being in a lot of cases the DJ in a lot of male-dominated spaces. Yes. So I'm excited to continue in that work, and I have a great team, and I'm here to help. So if anybody has questions, I'm also available as a resource. If my contact information is here. Mm-hmm. So I just appreciate the opportunity to share more about my story and why I do it.
Yeah, and you can follow her on Instagram at Kari Beats. And we have, so we'll make sure to share that. And I mean, this is a Latina DJ that is doing a lot of really cool stuff that's also helping build up our next generation of creatives. And so please make sure to follow her. And will you stay on and kind of be like the co-host for the rest of the show? We just have a couple more segments.
Oh, that sounds so fun. I only do fun things. You know what?
Yeah.
I think we have a plan. That's a yes. That's a yes.
Right.
Even though I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, that's a yes. And that's how you make things, get things done.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so last week, we ended up having, actually for the inaugural episode, we had Katie Umaña. She is a sports photojournalist. And that conversation was really fun. We got to learn about her work, and, she has been very active, with everything World Cup. I mean, she's already been to all of the Houston games. I think she's also been to maybe like 2, I think she was there. She was in Dallas yesterday. So it might be game 3 or game 2 in Dallas. And so I told her, I was like, hey, Katie, what if we do a Enya photo of the week? Because she's already on the sidelines. And I think that it's important to showcase the work of our friends and Latinas that are in these spaces. And so she sent me her favorite photo, and I want to put it up right now. It's Enya photo of the week. And this was from the Brazil versus Japan game here at Houston Stadium, where Brazil won 2-1. She took this photo. And I mean, this is what our Latinas are doing in sports.
Leadership looks like.
Yes. Look at that. I mean, just the angle that she had, the lines, the movement, everything about the composition of that photo is incredible. And so she actually sent me 3, and I chose this one, and I will tell you why. Aside from the fact that I love the composition and all the action that's happening on it, I love Brazil. Brazil is actually one of the teams that I'm going for. And I think this was one of the most exciting games, just the way that Japan was also playing. So it was really fun to see this photo, because it just really showed how Japan was in it to win it. Unfortunately, they didn't. But it was a really good photo. So, shout out to Katie. You can follow her at enya.photo on Instagram. And every week we're going to have a photo of the week, something that she took, because, she's been out and about doing amazing stuff, sitting, on the sideline taking photos of all of the games that she's at. And then I also wanted to just talk a little bit about an initiative that we're doing through Duran Concepts, and that is we're supporting Central American Collective in helping remodel a soccer field in El Salvador. And so the way that we're doing that is through a fundraiser, and all of our fundraisers are always going to be soccer related in some sort of way. So we have a link where anybody can go buy tickets to the upcoming games that Dynamo is hosting this summer for their summer of soccer. And as you know, Dynamo will be playing against América de Cali on July 11th, and then they'll be playing against oh my goodness, how can I forget? They will be playing on the 15th. They will be playing against, well, you will see the graphic up here in a second, but you can go to the link and you can buy tickets, and proceeds from those tickets will go back to the fundraiser. So just want to make sure. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Thank you, Club Deportivo Olimpia. I don't know why I was thinking of Mexican club, but yeah, sorry, Honduras. On the 11th, they will be playing América de Cali, and then on the 15th, they will be playing Olimpia de Honduras. But yeah, you can go to the link that will be popping up on screen, and then, and yeah, like I said, proceeds from those tickets will be going back to the field remodel that we're doing in El Salvador through Central American Collective. That's that's a really big project that has been going on now since 2023.
I've seen some pictures. It's coming along. It needs.
It is. It's coming along.
All that it can take.
We have the turf. We have the turf laid out, and now we're building a multi-purpose room so that all the kids that are part of the soccer program will also get a chance to learn trades. And so that's a really big one. But all right, so just to kind of end things off, this is a big weekend. This is a big weekend for big games. The reason why I'm wearing my Colombia jersey, signed by El Pibe Valderrama, is because Colombia is playing on Friday. They're going to be playing the Democratic Republic of Congo. And you know who I'm rooting for. And then this weekend on July 4th, that's the last game. That's the last World Cup game here in Houston. And yeah, that's going to be a good one. Canada versus Morocco. You know what? I would love for Canada to advance. I think it would be fun. But at the same time, not going to lie, Morocco has been playing really well. So we'll see how that game turns out. It's going to be fun.
One thing about it, I think it'll be fun.
It will. It will. I mean, at the end of the day, I think all of the games have been really exciting. These last couple, I mean, we went to penalties and all of this stuff. So there is definitely no shortage of excitement.
I love a good underdog story.
Yes, I know. But I do want, Colombia to win. So for that one, we want Colombia to win, period. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the Futbol Takeover. Remember that we are transmitting this show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And so we will see you here next time.